So you want to own a gym? The business nobody warns you about. Imagine you open a gym. You find a great location. You sign a lease. You spend thousands of dollars filling the place with treadmills, dumbbells, cable machines, squat racks, mirrors, lights, everything a modern gym is supposed to have. Then people start walking through the doors. 100 members, 300, 500, and eventually 1,000 members. Now, let's say each member pays you $50 a month. Do the math. That's $50,000 every single month. Sounds amazing, right? You might look at that number and think, I've built myself a money machine. But here's the strange part. Some of those 1,000 people might barely use your gym. Maybe they came in January with big goals. They bought new workout clothes. They promised themselves this year would be different. And then life happened. They stopped coming. But their membership kept running. And financially, that person can still be valuable. Now, that sounds almost backwards. Why would a gym owner want customers who don't even use the gym? Because the gym business isn't really about selling workouts. It's about selling recurring revenue. And once you understand that, the entire economics of owning a gym starts to look different. But there's a problem. A serious one. Every month, some customers cancel. Your rent doesn't cancel. Your electricity doesn't cancel. Your employees still need to get paid. Your equipment still breaks. And suddenly, that beautiful $50,000 monthly revenue number doesn't look quite as beautiful anymore. So, if you're thinking about opening a gym, here's the question you should really be asking. Can you build a gym where people don't just join, but actually stay? Because that's where the real money is. Let's start with the dream. You find a building in a good neighborhood. Maybe it's close to apartments. Maybe there are offices nearby. Maybe there's plenty of parking. You sign the lease. Then the spending begins. Treadmills, dumbbells, benches, cable machines, squat racks, mirrors, air conditioning, lockers, reception equipment. Maybe you even add a smoothie bar because, well, it looks cool. Finally, everything is ready. You open the doors, and people start joining. Let's say your membership is $50 a month. You get to 100 members, then 300, then 500. Eventually, you hit 1,000. At that point, you're collecting $50,000 a month. Over 12 months, that's $600,000 in membership revenue. And this is where many new business owners make a dangerous mistake. They see revenue and they start thinking about profit. But revenue is not profit. That $600,000 isn't yours to spend. Not even close. First, there's rent. And gyms need a lot of space. You can't run a serious gym out of a tiny room. Then there's payroll. Front desk employees, managers, personal trainers, cleaning staff, maybe salespeople. Then electricity. Think about everything running inside a gym. Lights, air conditioning, treadmills, TVs, music, showers, and dozens of machines. Then you've got insurance, software, credit card processing fees, marketing, cleaning supplies, repairs, maintenance, taxes, and equipment doesn't stay brand new forever. That beautiful treadmill you bought today, eventually it's going to break. So that $50,000 revenue number starts shrinking. And that's your first major lesson. A gym can have impressive revenue and still have disappointing profit. But there's a reason the gym model can be so attractive. Memberships. Think about a normal product. You sell someone a $600 product. They pay you once. The transaction is over. Next month, you need another customer. A gym membership is different. A customer joins today. If they stay, they keep paying. $50 this month, $50 next month, another $50 after that, and another. That's recurring revenue. And recurring revenue is powerful because you don't have to start from zero every single month. But here's the catch. The customer has to stay. And that's where one of the most important numbers in the gym business appears. Churn. Let's say you have 1,000 members. Sounds great. But then 50 people cancel this month. Now you're down to 950. So you launch ads. You offer free trials. You give discounts. You post on social media. You spend money trying to bring in new members. Eventually, you get 50 new people. You're back at 1,000. And you might think, we're doing great. But are you? You didn't actually grow. You just replaced the people who left. It's like filling a bucket with water while there's a hole in the bottom. You keep pouring more water in, but you're losing water at the same time. That's exactly what happens when customer churn is too high. New members enter, old members leave. And the owner keeps spending money to replace them. Over and over and over again. That's why smart gym owners don't only think about getting customers. They think about keeping them.
Now, let's ask the obvious question. Why do people cancel? And this is where the psychology gets interesting. Most people don't join a gym because they love treadmills. They join because they want a result. Maybe they want to lose weight. Maybe they want to build muscle. Maybe they want to look better. Maybe they want to feel healthier. Maybe they want more confidence. Maybe they looked in the mirror one morning and thought, okay, something needs to change. That's what they're really buying. Transformation. The dumbbell is just the tool. The treadmill is just the tool. The actual product is the person they hope to become. And that's a huge difference. Because equipment can be copied. Another gym can buy the same treadmill, the same cable machine, the same dumbbells. But the experience, the community, the trainer who knows your name, the feeling that you're actually making progress, that's harder to copy. And those things can make customers stay. Now, let's compare two customers. Customer number 1 joins your gym. They pay $50. They come for a few weeks. Then work gets busy. Maybe they have kids. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they lose motivation. They stop coming. And after 1 month, they cancel. That customer generated $50. Now imagine customer number 2. Same $50 membership. But this person stays for 3 years. 50 multiplied by 36 months? That's $1,800. Same price? Same gym? Completely different value. This is called customer lifetime value, or CLV. And this concept can completely change how you think about marketing. If a customer is worth $50, you can't spend $100 trying to acquire them. But if a loyal customer could be worth $1,800 over 3 years, you have much more room to invest in acquiring that customer. Now you're not just asking, how many members can I get? You're asking, how valuable can each member become? That's a much smarter business question. But there's another problem. Your gym has limited space. Let's say it's 2 p.m. The gym is almost empty. 10 people are using the equipment. Most of the machines are just sitting there, doing nothing. But your rent? Still running. Then 6 p.m. arrives. And suddenly, the gym is packed. People are waiting for machines. The treadmills are full. The parking lot is full. Now you have the opposite problem. Too much demand at one time. So a smart gym owner asks, how can I make this same space produce more revenue? Maybe you offer personal training during the afternoon. Maybe you create group classes. Maybe you offer off-peak memberships. Maybe you add nutrition coaching. Maybe you offer recovery services. The point isn't always to build a bigger gym. Sometimes, you just need to use the space you already have more intelligently. And that brings us to another important idea. Multiple revenue streams. Imagine someone pays $50 for a basic membership. Then they decide to purchase personal training. Another member joins a group fitness class. Someone buys a gym shirt. Another customer pays for nutrition coaching. Someone else pays for a recovery service. Now your gym isn't just selling access to equipment. It's creating an entire ecosystem. And that can be powerful. Because the more value customers get from your business, the more reasons they have to stay. Think about it. If your gym is just a room full of machines, there are thousands of alternatives. But what if your trainer knows your name? What if your friends work out there? What if you've built a routine? What if people recognize you? What if you're finally seeing results? Now leaving feels different. The gym isn't just a place you visit. It's become part of your lifestyle. And lifestyle businesses can be incredibly sticky. Now let's talk about something that can make or break the entire business. Location. You might find a huge building with incredibly cheap rent. Sounds like a bargain. But imagine it's far away from your target customers. Maybe parking is terrible. Maybe traffic is awful. Maybe the people you want to attract simply don't live nearby. Suddenly, cheap rent isn't really cheap. Because you're not just renting a building. You're renting access to customers. And sometimes paying more for the right location makes more economic sense than paying less for the wrong one. The cheapest location isn't necessarily the best location. The best location is the one that makes it easier for the right customers to walk through your door. So, why do gyms fail? Sometimes it's high rent. Sometimes it's too much debt. Sometimes the owner spends too much money on equipment. Sometimes the location is wrong. Sometimes marketing is weak. Sometimes there are too many competitors. And sometimes, the biggest problem is customer retention. The owner becomes obsessed with getting people through